Hi guys, welcome to this week's video. So although again the weather's not with me and it's a bit cloudy and a bit rainy, we're going to go and see Kirsty and see what she's doing in her new life in France. Hi, so I'm here with Kirsty and
Hi.
a gorgeous poodle. So what are the three poodles called?
Right, the white one is called Ren.
Ren.
She thinks she's the boss. The blue one's River, and she knows she's the boss.
Excellent.
And Rumour, oh, there she is. She just doesn't care.
Doesn't get
No, she's in her own little bubble.
Absolutely gorgeous. How long
Thank
have you had
you.
the poodles for?
Since they were puppies. So River is now 7 years old. She's getting old now. And please excuse their really short haircut. They got quite tangled up because we've got a stream that runs through the bottom of the field. And they spend their entire lives in it.
So you're constantly washing them?
Constantly. I'm grooming them every day. So I've decided the ones that get the most filthy have a short haircut for the season, but they don't mind. No, I'm sure they don't mind.
Absolutely gorgeous. So we're here, and gorgeous house, and the countryside. They've got no neighbours.
No neighbours. There's cows and sheep, and there's
So what other animals do you have?
Everything. Bit of a zoo here. We've got about 15 or 16 chickens. I've got 3 geese, which are currently thinking that I think they might sit on eggs.
Excellent.
They've got a clutch in the bush where I can't reach them. And a lonely duck. We're looking out for a partner for our lonely duck because she's recently lost her friend. So, and then I've got the sheep out the back with 6 lambs.
Lambs.
Yeah.
Well, we'll go and have a look at them in a minute. But
Okay.
also lurking in the background here is Stu, Kirsty's husband.
A partner, husband to be, hopefully sometime.
Stu, Kirsty's partner. Better half. Better.
Yeah.
Or that you say.
Absolutely.
Does Kirsty agree the same thing?
Let's not explore that.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, let's go and have a look at your sheep.
Yeah, let's do that. Okay. Come on in.
Oh, look at all the little lambs.
Okay.
So why did you decide to keep sheep? To eat? Are you eating them? Are they pets? Are they?
They're a mixture of things, really.
Yeah.
We do breed the ram lambs for people's freezers. I like to know where our meats come from, and I'd much rather produce the meat ourselves than to buy it from the supermarket, where it's like not unknown origin, but you don't know exactly how they've lived. Here we go. You want to hold him?
I'm going to hold it. Yes. Hello. So who's this?
Oh, she's got no name yet. But she's one of Grandma's little girls. So as usual, the oldest of the flock that needs the most care has twins, so she needs even more care.
You cute.
So she is lovely.
See, this is the problem.
Yeah.
I find the animals too cute. I wouldn't be able to eat them. I would, I would love to have animals.
Yeah.
But the problem is, I know that I wouldn't do I would do too right by them, and then I'd end up having loads of animals. And
yeah. I don't know if you can see from there, but my last year's lambs and the ram are in the swamp field, as it calls at the moment, away from the ewes, because these guys are getting a lot more food. They need more protein in their diet.
So you mentioned just earlier that you've been living here for 6 weeks.
Yeah.
So you lived in... How long have you been here in France?
Exactly 5 years.
Exactly 5 years.
Yeah, and we sold our original property in France on the 18th of March. So that's gone to a lovely French couple. We are just so lucky to have found this place.
Why did you come to France in the first place?
A combination of factors, really. I was a dog groomer in the UK, so and a part-time farmer. I've had sheep since I was 17, 18, so I always wanted that quintessential country life, house in the country, room for a pony. And my budget simply wouldn't stretch to it. Yeah. We searched high and low, so we looked around North Wales, the Welsh-English border, Scotland even, and down in Devon and Cornwall, because my folks are from, my dad's down south, my mum's up north. Okay. We just couldn't find anything that was practical and within our budget. So we started looking further afield. Now, my grandmother lived in France when I was younger, and so I associated France with holidays and fun, and I thought, hey, why not move to France? We started off in the Dordogne, and it was the height of summer, and I just remember everything being yellow and brown. Everything was burnt. There was no grass in the fields. Farmers were having to feed hay. This is back in 2016, and I decided it's too far south, even though you've got a beautiful summer, you can't work the land. You've always got to be one step ahead of the weather. And coping with drought was something I'd never had to cope with before living in the UK, like the anti-drought. We basically moved our search further up, and this is when we found our first house that we had over here. And it wasn't what we were looking for. It ticked none of the boxes, but we thought, well, we're here for a day, let's have a look at it. So we went into this little grey cottage, and there was a 42 square metre lounge with a beam ceiling, and it just took us, it was like, this is fantastic, we love it. So we looked at the price, and we did put a very cheeky offer in, and they accepted immediately, which also threw us off our feet. It's like, what do you mean, yes? You see, we've had a really good time there, to be honest. It's been a very steep learning curve, as any expat come renovator will tell you.
So you had to totally renovate your previous house. It was to do everything. So you had a lot of work to do on it. Is that something, I suppose, this house, has it got less work to do then? Is that partly why you decided to move? This
place is in much better condition structurally, as well as it's been decorated.
Sorry, I was going to say, what's interesting is that because you've bought somewhere in France and it obviously wasn't quite the right place for you.
No.
But instead of being kind of deterred by that, you've obviously done some work, learned from it, sold it, and bought again in France, obviously nearby. I think that's quite interesting, because obviously quite a lot of people from the UK will come over, buy something, and then maybe go, oh, this isn't the dream we planned, and then the initial response would be to go home, whereas obviously you've kind of gone, no, we still like living in France, but we want to go somewhere different.
The thing is, we fell in love with the area, the cruise and the Lalande border. I've got to pronounce it right. We just love the area. We've made so many friends here. Yes, the original house wasn't perfect, but we have given ourselves 5 years to make France our home. We've tried to adopt the cultures. We've found food in the supermarkets that, is the perfect alternative to stuff back home. We don't need our rescue package, which for the first year in France, we used to get this box from the UK with our essentials as Brits, which is terrible, and we don't need that. We've found better alternatives over here, and
I totally agree. I think that's something that sort of I've done as well when we moved over here.
I mean, not everybody wants to renovate, and I do understand that. We did take on a little bit too much with the other property, but we've also learned some valuable lessons. Always shop around, always get quotes for work. The prices between different artisans in a certain area can vary. We had a quote for our septic tank, for the Fosse septic. The original quote was €13,000. The second was around 10, and the third was 7. So shop around. But this 5 years has given us that lesson. We know where to get everything. So this second property is a dream. And this 5 years in France has given us the chance to look around, fall in love with the area, and then decide what we really, really want. And already being here means that we're not paying 400, 600, 800 euros a time to come to France to house hunt. We were so lucky that this place, it was on the market a year before we found it. This is within 20 minutes of our original house, so it was just perfect. So we did sort of work out roughly where it was and have a sneaky drive by, and we just couldn't wait for a viewing, and it was an immediate yes from both of us.
Excellent. Well, it's fantastic. As I say, the surroundings are great, and you've got a lovely place really for all of the animals and everything else. So how many chickens have you got, did you say?
About 15. I think there's one that's running around outside at the moment. So these are my girls. The reason there's a gas bottle here is because at night I want to make sure the door's extra safe. They don't have gas, central heating, or anything like that. And hi guys.
Camo.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
That's a cockerel, isn't it? He's gorgeous.
He's gorgeous. Yeah. He's lovely. He's a gentle boy, but he doesn't get on terribly well with the other cockerel. So, who lives in this house?
You've got two cockerels.
Two cockerels. Yeah. The other one is called Bork.
Here in France, obviously, a lot of your time is taken up with all these gorgeous animals. But what else? What else do you do?
Well, my actual job, I am a gardener for a local chateau.
Yeah, that's Chateau de Lalande.
Chateau de Lalande.
With
Yes. Stephanie Jarvis.
Yeah.
It's not far away at all, so it's. Again, with buying the house right next to where I work, it is really good.
I mean, it must be pretty amazing working in the chateau and the grounds of the chateau.
It's incredible. It's my dream. It really is. I absolutely love my job. So.
How did you sort of come by the job?
Somebody I knew was already working there, and they were looking for an assistant gardener, and they sort of put me forward as a suggestion. You know, they weren't sure what I was doing with my other jobs and hobbies, but I love gardening, and it was a logical move forward. I didn't know what to expect when I first started there, but it really is a lovely place. And I'm surrounded by a vegetable garden, and I think there's about 60 acres of... and
you're responsible for sort of, I suppose, most of the 60 acres of the upkeep for the maintaining?
I'm responsible at the moment for the vegetable garden and keeping the grounds looking nice. So mowing the lawns and things, which is just great.
How long have you been working there?
I've been there for a year now. Yeah, started last April. We do have lovely volunteers from all around the world that come and help us in the garden, and it's an operation, many-handed operation. It was just getting it looking lovely. I was working around the back yesterday, keeping the chapel all pretty, and sowing seeds. We've got tomatoes on the go, and the greenhouse is just full. It's just brilliant. That's how it should be.
It's nice having that. I've seen the walled vegetable garden, and it's sort of everyone's gardener's dream, isn't it?
It is.
To have that walled vegetable garden where you can just have all of the plots and everything else. And
it is absolutely.
So.
Well, I have a hedged garden, and
exactly.
I'll show you now the plans for my own vegetable garden. Yeah. The geese will shout at you for a minute. They will shut up in a minute. I'll send them out. This area here we are clearing, ready to make into a vegetable plot. It's not much at the moment, but the chickens have been in and they've managed to scarify all the surface, and the moles have kindly broken up the ground for me, so working with nature. My plan is to rotivate a piece of land here for potatoes, and then the greenhouse is going to go here, and then this area here, this terrace, we're going to try and level it and put some, like a bistro set on here with a parasol, which it should be nice. Once the geese are banished for good, obviously I've got to wait now for them to have their babies, because this is a very secure paddock for them. Another thing about buying a property in the middle of winter, so in the spring all the surprises grow up. We've got peonies and things we didn't know we had. Got tulips growing everywhere. All these freebies.
I always say to people as well, if you buying or looking at houses in autumn or winter is always good, because you kind of see the house at the worst. So when
that's very true.
You then see it in spring and summer, it's always twice as better as you first thought. Whereas sometimes when you see it in the summer, it looks perfect, and then in the winter you're like, oh God, this is a bit miserable. But if you love a house in winter, you're definitely going to love it in the summer.
That's it. I think it's the best time to look for properties, to be honest.
Well, thank you very much.
You're very welcome
for showing us around your house. It's absolutely lovely, and I'm so glad that you found somewhere that's perfect for you in France. Thank you for watching this week's video, and don't forget to subscribe and click the bell to be notified of future videos, and I'll see you next time. Cheers guys, bye.